Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what may be slowing down your progress in any area of your life, but particularly in developing yourself as a musician. Now, what I'm going to share today has nothing to do with your skill level as a musician, because all of us have room for improvement, of course. Whether you're a beginner, you're an aspiring professional, or you've been a professional for decades, there's always room for improvement and progress. Sometimes we make rapid progress and everything seems to be smooth sailing. You have a goal, you're going towards it, and you reach your goal. That's the ideal. That feels great, doesn't it? When you have a goal, it's clear, you do the work, and you get there. That's how it's supposed to be, right? But that's not the way it always is. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what happens when it doesn't work so easily and how you can make it work more easily again. So before we go any further, if you haven't met me before, I'm Jennifer Roig-Francolí. I'm the creator of The Art of Freedom for musicians. I'm an artistic mastery coach for musicians of all kinds and a certified Alexander technique teacher, as well as a performer, professional violinist myself. And I want to say hello to everyone coming on. I see Kay is here. Hello, Kay. Thanks for showing up today. And if you're watching the replay, thank you for taking the time to watch the replay. I always love to know who's watching and what instrument you play, where you're from. So if you want to just type something in at some point, let me know who you are. And also, I love to get your comments so that we can have a little more interaction going. So first question to you out there is, do you actually have some area of your life in which you're working on something, you have a goal, and you want to make some progress? So if you do, and that I would expect are most people, then just type in yes, or tell us specifically what your goal is right now. What do you want to make progress on? What do you want to work towards? If you're practicing your instrument every day, you may have a piece that you're working on or a technique that you might want to be perfecting. If you are a professional, perhaps you want to improve your professional connection skills, right? Maybe you want to be able to reach out to people more easily and get better at making those connections. Maybe you want to improve relationships at home or in the workplace. Maybe you're in an ensemble and you have some conflicts going on. Do you want to make progress in improving those relationships? So Kay says yes. Yes, there are things that you want to work on and improve and get better at. And it's great to know what those things are. So in my experience in working with The Art of Freedom, which, by the way, is my unique approach to musical living and masterful artistry, based on decades of my own experience as a performer and also many years as an Alexander technique teacher, working with hundreds of musicians at every level. What I've learned through all these experiences is that whether you're making progress or not really depends on how you are using yourself. And what I mean by that is, how are you thinking? How are you moving? How clear are your intentions? How clear are the goals that you have? Are they just vague goals that you don't really think about much? Or do you have clear, specific goals, whether they're general or specific, doesn't matter, but you don't want them to be too vague. You want to know what you want. And a lot of people, in my experience, don't really know clearly what they want. So if your goal is not clearly defined, your intentions are not clear, and you don't really know what you're working on every day, or you forget about it most of the time, and every few weeks you're like, oh, well, maybe I should work on that relationship, then lack of clarity is going to make it harder for you to make progress towards your goal. That's pretty obvious, right? It's kind of a no-brainer that you have to know what your goal is if you want to achieve it, right? So tell me if this is clear. Does that make sense? Is this a no-brainer? Yes or no? And hello, Angela. I just saw that you came on. Thanks for being here too. We're talking about having goals and achieving them and making progress towards them or not. So first thing that you need is a clear goal. You need a clear intention. All right. That's obvious, but you need to sometimes work on having clarity of intention. Okay. So start there. Know what you want. If you don't know what you want, that's your first step. Figure it out. Okay. Once you know what you want, let's say you're playing a passage in the Brahms sonata, able to play that shift in tune, and you want it to be consistent. Whether you're alone in the practice room or you're on stage in front of 1,000 people, you want to be able to play that shift in tune in that Brahms sonata. That's a very clear, specific intention, right? And that's something that you can work on in the practice room every day. But the funny thing is that you can have 5 different people working on exactly the same passage every single day for a week, and they will progress at different rates. Now, why is that? Maybe one of them is going to make very little progress, and one of them is going to actually have that down in 5 minutes and have that shift in tune, right? Of course, there are a lot of factors that go into this. It can have to do with how long a person's been playing, how skilled they are, a certain degree of talent perhaps, but ultimately, the rate of progress, without comparing to other people, if you're comparing your own tendency to progress rapidly or slowly, if you're comparing yourself to yourself, so to speak, one week you may progress faster, another week you may progress more slowly. Why is that? It has to do with how you're thinking. Everything that we do, all actions that we take, all movements that we take, all activities that we engage in happen because of an idea in the mind, and our progress, how we're able to deliver and manifest that idea into reality, depends on how clearly we're thinking and how much interference there is between our original idea and manifesting the idea. Now, to make this even simpler, I'm going to tell you how we interfere. For instance, let's take that example of the shift in the Brahms sonata. You want to be able to hit that note every time. But do you think you're going to learn how to do that more quickly or more slowly? Let's take a vote. Write in the box in your comments, more quickly or more slowly. If, first of all, you're worried that you're not going to be able to do it. Do you think you're going to progress and be able to do it more easily, quickly, if you think that way, or more slowly? If you're worried that you can't do it and you keep procrastinating, maybe you need to go eat some chocolate. maybe you, oh my gosh, I have to go call my friend. I forgot to do it yesterday. If other things get in the way, your progress is going to be slower. Now, having to make a phone call is your choice. Of course, it may feel really urgent. Maybe somebody calls you and the phone's ringing. Do you pick it up? It all depends how much you want to achieve your goal. You're going to progress more quickly if you focus on what you want and you stick to it, and you don't let those external things distract you and take you away from what you're wanting to do. That's also pretty obvious. But we allow ourselves to get distracted all the time, right? So you can actually make a lot of progress in a very short amount of time if you take measures to block out distractions, external distractions. That's obvious. What's not always so obvious is the internal distractions that we cause for ourselves. Okay, and that was what I was alluding to when I said, well, if you start worrying about whether you can actually achieve your goal or not, you're creating a lot of mental interference. You're actually distracting yourself with another thought that is taking away from what you're supposed to be focusing on, right? You're starting to think about worry. Well, what if I can't do it? What if I mess up in that performance? Then the thing that happens then is if you start worrying and going into a negative fear-based mindset, that is translated into your body with excess tension. When my body gets tighter, it's harder for me to hit the right note because I have less direct control over my musculature. There's tightness and stiffness and constriction in the way that's blocking the clear manifestation of the idea from my mind through a free, open, flexible, responsive body to be able to reach that shift. Okay, so it's how you think, and the result of how you think is how you move, and how you move, it determines the outcome of your action. So you will progress more quickly if you don't pay attention to external or internal distractions. And it's up to you. That's why in the title of this video, I asked you, I said, I actually forgot what the title is, but the hint was that you are the problem. That I remember. It's like, are you making progress or not? And what gets in the way? What sabotages your progress? External things can happen, but you're in charge with how you react to those external things. And you're 100% responsible for how you think internally. If you get distracted, it's your fault. If you're not making the kind of progress that you want to be making, if it's slower than you want it to be, 99% of the problem is really you. I hate to say it. But the good news is that because you're responsible, you can learn how to make super fast progress and be incredibly efficient with your practice time if you know how to do it. And you need specific tools to be able to control your mind and therefore undo excess tension in your body. That's what I teach my students every day. Exactly how to do this. Before I go on, I'm going to go over to the comments. I have to scroll down to see anything. I see responses here. Angel answered my question and said yes. Angel says, sometimes you have to refine the goal. Absolutely. This happens all the time. And in fact, we need to make new choices in every moment, right? Because life can throw us for a loop, right? Things happen. Our bodies change, our thoughts change. We're free to change our minds. And that's actually why I call my special approach to music making the art of freedom, because I want to recognize that I have the freedom to change my mind and think differently and course correct. I want to have a very clear intention, a very clear goal, but I'm free to change that anytime I want. For instance, I have a student right now who hasn't quite decided whether he's going to be performing in January or not. He's been planning this for months, and he's been working towards it for months. And he's been thoroughly enjoying the process because he's been applying tools that I've been teaching him and other things that he's learned in his own life that are helpful for him to make progress and enjoy the process. So he's been having a great time, but he's staying open to the possibility that he may actually decide not to play in the concert. But it doesn't really matter. He can choose whenever he wants to continue along that path or to change his mind and maybe do something different. What matters is that he's present to himself. He's recognizing that he has the freedom to choose, and he's choosing to enjoy the process. So he's having fun while he's working towards the goal that he's chosen for today. This happens all the time. Okay, you can course correct. You can have a plan for your practice session, but you can change your mind if something else comes up that makes more sense. But not because you're trying to run away from something that's uncomfortable or avoid doing the work that requires more mental focus. That can seem harder. And so then we distract ourselves, right? And we think, oh, it's better for me to go have a cup of tea right now than working on this passage, which is so hard. Sometimes that's the right choice, but sometimes that's just running away from being disciplined. So you do have to really get present with yourself from moment to moment to moment and listen to what your body is telling you. So much of the time we don't listen to our bodies. It's really sad. To listen to that inner wisdom in your body and also recognize that your thoughts may not be so clear, so you can clarify your intentions, clarify your thoughts by asking yourself again and again, what do I want right now? And also observing, how am I reacting to what I'm doing. What's happening to me right now as I'm engaged in this activity? Is this actually good for me? Am I getting easier? Am I enjoying this? Is this positive? Am I moving forward? Or is what I'm doing actually not right for me anymore? Am I getting tighter? Am I shutting down? Am I kind of feeling bad about myself? If you start feeling that way in your body, that's a very, very clear signal that you need to stop for a moment, step back, come back to yourself, and ask yourself again, what's going on right now? And what do I want? So you can course correct. So good. Yes, Angel, thank you for that comment. That gave me some more food for thought. And if anybody has any comments or questions on this, does it make sense what I'm saying? You need to have a clear idea and you need to know how to get out of the way so you can manifest your idea and take it into action. That's the gist of this, and that you have the power to make your choices, to take things in whatever direction you want to take them in a way that's either constructive for you or destructive, which either enhances and quickens your progress or slows it down and makes it more frustrating. So that's what I've got for you today. If you're a violinist or violist, I want to let you know that I have a very special workshop coming up on Monday. It's online, it's free. I'm going to be talking about mistakes that we all make in the practice room and how you can learn some of what I've talked about today, how to get out of your way and play the violin or viola more effortlessly. If you're not a violinist or violist and these topics interest you, you are more than welcome to come. The material is really not specific to violinists and violists. I just happen to be a violinist, and you are more than welcome to come. I'm going to be talking about the art of freedom and specifically how to apply that to better music making and more fun. So if you want to sign up for that, I'm going to just pull up the link so you can come to this workshop. Again, it's free. It's this Monday. Here is the link. I'm going to just stick it into the comments so you have it. If you know other violinists or violists, please share this link with them and tell them it's free. It's going to be a lot of really valuable content. And it's going to be fun. So I hope that you'll think about coming and share this with your friends. So thank you for watching today. Oh yes, the other thing I wanted to share with you, of course, if you're not a member of the Musicians Mind Body Practice Tribe, I really encourage you to join. We have a wonderful Facebook group. We're talking about mind body issues like this all the time in the group. And here's the link for that. And whoops, I almost ended my video by accident. That's not what I meant to do. And I'm going to give you one more link. If you want to dive in right away and you want to actually learn some of the tools that are going to help you get out of tension and connect how you're thinking with your body with more ease, you must try this out. Again, this is free. Learn the cycle. The cycle is a primal Alexander etude. It takes 2 minutes. It's the first thing I teach all of my students. It was developed by my friend and great Alexander technique teacher, Mia Morales. So this is a 5-day challenge. It's the best warm-up you can find anywhere that I know of. Doesn't matter what your instrument is, but learn the cycle. Do it twice a day. It just takes 2 minutes, and I can pretty much guarantee that within 5 days, within a week, you're going to notice improvement and you'll be making progress more easily. So I hope this was helpful. Feel free to share this with whoever you like. And I'll be here again next Thursday, same time, same place. And if you've got any questions for me, feel free to post them in the Mind Body Practice Tribe or message me privately. I do private coaching for musicians of all skill levels and all instruments. And I also have an amazing group of musicians from all over the world that gets together for live classes online every week. So if you want to learn more about the mind-body connection and how to play music with your whole self, you need to find out about this. So contact me and I'll tell you all the details. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Happy practicing as always, and lots of love. Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for being here.